You guys are pretty excited about lunch, I'm guessing. We are, in fact, the last presentation to go before lunch. So we're going to hit up Costco for some Costco dogs if you guys are down to join us. We would love to have you. But for now, we're going to present. We are the consulting team for Power Equipment Systems. And before we dive into the presentation, I want to touch a little bit on who PES is. They're a Salem-based company that are currently selling business-to-business power equipment and power equipment parts. Now, and they're going to see how we want to tell them how or suggest how that they enter the online channel of power equipment retail. So next, let's meet the team. My name is Jordan Farr. This is Aubreen Blas and Thomas Kerr, and we make up your PES consulting team. Now, let me paint you a picture real quickly. It's the middle of March. Oregon hasn't seen a sunny day for 5 months. Only rain, sleet, and snow. Finally, it's March, like I said. A sunny day appears. Every dad is out on their lawn saying, I think I can mow this thing today. And so they go into their shed, right? This particular dad goes into his shed, pulls out his lawnmower that hasn't seen the light of day for about 5 months, right? And he goes, whop. Starts, fantastic. He's probably like thinking, oh, this is good. Okay, and then he goes about 10 yards into his lawn and snap. A lawnmower belt breaks. What is this consumer supposed to do now? He's been to Home Depot, doesn't enjoy the process, didn't want to pay an arm and a leg, and he wants to buy from the convenience of his home. This is where PES would like to grab this consumer. And Thomas is going to talk to us about how we plan to do that, or we suggest to do that.
Thank you, Jordan. So why does PES want to sell online? In a nutshell, they want to hedge risk. And what is the risk, you ask? As you can see, this portion right here makes up 25% of PES's total annual sales. And that is with company A, B, and C. And those companies are representative of online retailers that buy from PES, and then they resell through the online channel directly to the consumer. And so by creating an online sister company, they will be able to, in the case of one of these companies not buying from PES anymore, they will be able to kick up their investments in the online company to cover the losses with one of these companies, or all three. So the name we came up with is Online Power Parts, and that's based off of domain availability and relevance to what the site will provide. Our recommendations, pretty quick and easy. Create the online company, and it will be a drop shipper, which I'll explain in a few slides. They need to invest heavily in search engine optimization, pay-per-click advertising, and the user-friendly interface that will be the website. So OPP structure. There will be 2 owners who are the current CEOs of PES, and that is Pete and Kelly Yunker. And so that raises some question. Will they get special privilege because they are the CEOs of PES and the owners of the online company? And the answer is no. They will be treated exactly as the same customer as anybody else. It will be a drop shipper, which I'll explain in the next slide. There will be 1 full-time employee, and that employee will be a vendor manager. The vendor manager is in charge of overseeing day-to-day operations, as well as making sure that contracts are being upheld. And the contracts are really the backbone to what makes OPP successful. OPP's contracts will include marketing, the initial web creation, and then the web maintenance. And the most important relationship that it has is with PES, their parent company, which is their supplier. And the supplier will bring them sell them the products. It will provide them with the logistics, the shipping and handling, as well as the customer service. And the customer service is really what we foresee setting OPP apart from the rest of the online competitors. PES will provide customer service through their internet channel with customer service on phone calls, as well as an online chat box, which you can reach them at and ask them any questions on diagnosing a certain product or recommending a certain product. And drop shipping. So I'll just piggyback off of Jordan's story about the father with the broken part. So he goes online and he searches the internet for the broken part. He comes upon OPP, clicks on it, goes through it, finds the part in which he needs, and then he puts in all his credit card information and buys the product. OPP gets that order and they send it directly to PES. PES then handles the shipping and the freight and ships it directly to the consumer. And after all that's done, PES then charges OPP for that product and shipping. And that's how drop shipping will work, and the structural ins and outs of OPP will be. And now I'll hand it over to Jordan to.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Thomas. So now that you've learned what structurally OPP will look like, I'd like to dive into some of the marketing efforts that we suggest that they perform. First, I want to start off with a bit of a value proposition. The things that OPP that will drive buying behaviors of the channel that is OPP. Pay-per-click, user-friendly website, which feeds into search engine optimization, and inventory, which is essentially PES's vast inventory. These are the things that make up the buying behavior, the traffic that to OPP. Yeah, so what does a user-friendly website even consist of? This is the man we're trying to get, okay? That's not, sorry, okay. We essentially did research on 30 plus online competitors that OPP will be in direct competition with, and found 5 key areas of what a user-friendly website would look like in this channel. First, the layout. It has to be aesthetically pleasing with branding, imaging throughout, and that is consistent throughout, excuse me. After talking for the search toolbar, after talking to some of these competitors as Corban students, we found that the consumer of online parts are going to know what they want. They're going to break apart. There's going to be a part number associated with that part, and they're going to go on, and all they want to see from our research is a search toolbar which will take them directly to the part that they need. And this should be the forefront of a website in this channel. Next, this is kind of where Griff Lindell comes in. Clear and concise subtabs. We actually got a chance to sit down with our Dean of Business here, and he got to look at one of our competing websites, or excuse me, OPP's competing websites. And he clicked on an orange lawnmower that he liked, and he kept clicking, and eventually never got to that exact orange lawnmower. This is where the problem lies. It was a sub-tab, not an actual product. So it's a small detail that could confuse a consumer, but is large in the grand scheme of user-friendliness. Next, the icing on the cake, from our research, we feel diagnostic tutorial videos. These things not many people offer, not many competing companies offer this type of content on their website. We would like to have this suggest that OPP has it readily available around the front page of their website to add that extra kind of content that will take someone to perhaps a YouTube channel that they can see, oh, this is how you build or fix this part to this lawnmower or weed whacker, anything of that sort. Last but not least, online customer support is something that could look like a text box. Thomas already touched on that as well, on how PES prides himself on customer support, and so will OPP. Next, pay-per-click. What's this pay-per-click thing we've been talking about? So Bing and Google offers a service to an individual or a business that allows them to literally pay for the clicks that are generated through their search engine. These, when you pay a certain amount, you'll be put ahead of other competitors, either on the top of a search site or on the side. This is important to note because OPP's competitors are currently, on average, spending around $2,000 a month for this service. And we suggest that OPP spends 33% more, equaling about $3,000 per month to get their pay-per-click advertising, not only to put their foot in the door in this new market for them, but also to be a little bit ahead of their competitors. Search engine optimization. So this is all about investing into the website initially, how you're using keywords and describing your products that OPP will offer on their website to pretty much make it attractive to search engines, so they're going to show up sooner on any kind of search engine site like Google. Certainly, the competitors for this are doing a good job, but it's all depending on how they build their website and how they maintain it. And this is something we want to suggest OPP takes very seriously. And this next slide will kind of explain why. 68% is the number of search engine optimized or unpaid, in other words, organic clicks that, on average, our competitors receive. So the percentage of inbound clicks to a website on average for our competitors. Or 68% of those clicks are generated organically through search engine optimization, through a clean website that's clear and concise and has good keywording. 32%, which kind of takes up the back end of it, are derived from paid advertising on search engines. So this is a smaller portion, which we suggest investing smaller, obviously, in the investment of pay-per-click than search engine optimization, which is the initial startup of a website. As you can see from this, the search engine optimization takes kind of the brunt of the inbound clicks. Next, let's kind of talk about where OPP will stand in the market for paid-per-click advertising. They're right above the average, as you can see. And then also there's a big old elephant in the room, Fix.com. We want to address this because though they pay a lot for clicks and advertising on search engines, they don't have a clean website. So a lot of their traffic is coming through and going right out the other end, and they're not getting people to return. So this is just something we want to remind PES when building OPP, that it's not all about just getting paid per clicks advertising. It's about building a website and slowly, eventually getting up to that threshold of marketing expenses. Next, I would like to give it to Aubreen, who will talk about the financials.
Thank you, Jordan. All right, so I know everybody loves financials, so let's just start it off. So we did a breakdown right here, and we wanted to show everybody exactly what OPP will be paying per month in order to operate the business. Right here we have our different categories, and then we have a startup cost of $19,700. That is not including the monthly cost for the first month to operate, because in the $19,700 includes hardware, hard drives, whatever they need in order for OPP to begin the business, and for the vendor manager, whatever that cost is as far as like the desk, the chair, and everything, because we are only having one employee, which is the vendor manager. And then the monthly cost after that in months 2 through 12 will be around $17,000 right in there, as we can see. In the coming year's costs, we did add a little 2% increase just to give a little bit of wiggle room to OPP as far as whether it is marketing or anything else, but we wanted to give a little bit more of wiggle room with the costs, and that came out to about $206,000, $210,000, $214,000, and it goes up about $4,000 each year, as you can see here. Now we have the break-even analysis. With the break-even analysis, we decided that we would try and get all of the costs for the year, which is $221,000, as previously described in the slides before, and that is including the startup costs as well. The number of units in order to hit that $221,000 is actually going to be 14,753 units annually with a $15 profit. So OPP will be making $15, and in order for them to break even within the first year, it's going to be about 14,000 to 15,000 units sold. That's about 1,200 units monthly in order for them to break even at the end of year one. With our sales forecast, which I will be explaining in the upcoming slides, in April of year one, we project that OPP will be able to break even because of PES, their parent company, the success that they have with the online retailers and customers that they do have. With that being said, we see right in here the break-even analysis, the cost, the revenue. In month 4, which is April, it will be breaking even, and we just wanted to make sure to display that for you guys, as well as the profit. Now in here, we wanted to make sure to say that within here, the profit in months 1 through 3, this is the winter months, so that's usually not the time that OPP will be able to sell their parts, because due to the fact that the winter power equipment parts aren't really used as much as during the summer and spring. Then we have the sales forecast. Now with the sales forecast, these numbers come from our research that we did, as well as the number given to us of $4 million by our client. PES is currently making $4 million in sales revenue on parts, which is very successful. And so we wanted to take that $4 million and try to make $4 million plus a 30% increase. So we took the $4 million and multiplied it by 30%, took that $1.2 million and added it to the $4 million to give a goal for OPP as far as $5.2 million to try to make in sales revenue. So with it being a startup and with them just getting their foot in the door as far as on the online channel, we decided to do about 15% of that $5.2 million would be the first year, and that gives us the $780,000. And then so on and so forth. And each year we increased the percentage that we think OPP can penetrate because of the success of PES and because of the online parts distributors. We decided that we would go up each year, and in year 2 it's around 20-25%, and because of all the marketing and all of the SEO as far as search engine optimization and pay-per-click, we believe that OPP can achieve this. Then we have future projections. Now the future projections, we decided to take the whole industry. The whole industry is about $40 billion, and in 2016, that's how much the industry was worth. And so we decided that in year 6, this time, we believe that PES can take the products, and instead of just being a parts distributor, it can now put all of their machinery and everything that PES has in their inventory on the online site, so that people can go and we can get a bigger consumer base and customer base. So that's where we got the 0.05%, and we got this 0.05%, 0.05% because of the fact that we believe that OPP is able to attain that part of the market of the $40 billion market. And as we can see, again, we wanted the percentage to go up and try to penetrate as much as we can of the market online. This is just an overview of what exactly we believe that OPP can do and as it goes up, and we just wanted to display that. And in conclusion, so with our recommendations, we believe that OPP should be a drop shipper, as well as invest heavily in not only search engine optimization and pay-per-click, but also making sure that their website is a user-friendly website and that people are able to know the OPP name. So that comes with the marketing and everything that Jordan and Thomas went over. And thank you. And we'd just like to thank our client, Pete Yunker. We'd like to thank the Hoff School of Business. We'd like to thank all of you that are here and all of our mentors, Sean Hussey and Bryce Peterson. And we're open for questions.
All righty, the judges are quiet.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Financials. Toolbar on the website means you need a proprietary database. Did you factor that into your financials? And are you just going to not mooch, but are you going to absorb from the PES database?
Yeah, it's in the initial $15,000 investment that we decided for the website for the creation of the website. So we did put that into the factor in.
Awesome. Jordan, I noticed on the actual website for PES, I scrolled down to the very bottom and it says that they were generated by Pixel Spoke. Did you contact them and try to see if you could somehow retroactively make the website work through them?
We actually did not. That wasn't really where we were trying to take it. We were tasked with creating a completely separate website from PES, and so we wanted to kind of stay away from where PES kind of grabs their stuff. So that's, if that kind of answers.
No, that totally answers the question. I want to give you a compliment too. You're the first person to understand what SEO is and AdWords are. So great job.
Wow, thank you.
Bob?
Very good presentation, but I'm afraid to tell you I think you've been scammed. I'm pretty sure that Dean Lindell does not cut his own grass. Hate to break that news to you.
I want a royalty payment on that picture.
Yeah, no, anything we make. We knew we were going to get something for that. Yeah.
And he's right, I don't cut my own lawn.
Sure.
So,
Bruce?
so part of this is they're going to cannibalize the business that other people are doing and grow additionally, correct?
Not intentionally. The gist of it is just to hedge the risk of losing one of the current online resellers of their products.
So they're just introducing a new competitor to the market. They just own the competitor.
Correct.
Okay, interesting. Do they also do things for snow blowers and other things? Because I'm sure this website would be anywhere in the world. So the seasonality of it probably not as big as issue as you're making?
Microphone.
We kind of went of like nationwide, like U.S. We didn't really go as far as like maybe like in coming years as OPP is more known, and we thought like maybe we should do nationwide first and then we should branch out.
You seem to have some pretty good statistics on what the competitors were doing and some good research on that. I would have been curious to see if you understood what the seasonality of that market was, because I'm guessing it's less than you think it is.
Jonathan?
Thank you. Great presentation. And this might be a question for your lecturers, not for you, but your projections looked beautifully up and to the right. And I don't know whether you've seen the pictures of what people think success is, which is up and to the right, and then the real picture of what success is, which is very, very varied and up and down and entangled and all over the place. And certainly your judges know that, they live it. But what did you build in any variables at all? And if you didn't, why didn't you build in some variables? These are pretty big numbers.
Variable cost, you mean?
Yeah, variable cost, not so much variable cost, no, variable sales projections.
Okay. Are we talking about like as far as like?
Closer.
Oh, sorry. Are we talking about as far as like for month to month, like the fluctuation?
Yeah, and your year-on-year results. Mm-hmm. They were so prettily up and to the right in very clear things and nice steps. But what about the possibility of saying to the client that if you do this, this will be the outcome,
yeah,
but if
right.
you do that, that will be the outcome. And it does seem to be a theme through most of the presentations, that there's kind of one answer rather than a variable.
I completely agree. Yeah, we did not go variable and say, well, if this happens, then this is going to be the end goal or the end. If this happens, it's going to be the end. So that's something that we should have looked into.
We being conservative as well. We kind of that's kind of where the variable sits in, is our numbers are very conservative, and so we're looking to take the smallest. We're looking to project the smallest possible outcome essentially for where our projections are at. So that's kind of building in what variables could lie. I think the 2% that we had on our sales forecast, kind of the buffer, kind of took care of some of the variable costs. We do understand that there's probably going to be more in real life situation. So,
and just not to scare you, but and it's okay if you don't have an answer to this, but you say they're conservative, but what is that conservative view based on?
I feel like a conservative view for us would be different from a conservative view for them. So, I mean, it's all up in the air as far as what our client Pete would like to do with it and how conservative he's willing to be or how risky he's willing to be. So, I mean, for me, I'm more of the risk side, but I also can see where the conservative did go, and so we did take the conservative route, very conservative route in the project.
Yeah, thank you.
Richard? Down this way, please.
I'd like to push a little harder on the cannibalism question, and I'm glad you're not serving sandwiches. That was a little subtle. So, you said not intentionally, but if I were one of those 3 resellers, and I don't think you're going to keep this a secret from them, I'm pulling my business and finding a new supplier. Yeah. What's going to keep them loyal and give you new business rather than just trading? And you've set this up to where all your distribution channels are equal. There's no financial advantage of going through your own distribution channel. You're just trading sales and creating cost.
Yeah, that's why we focused a lot of our attention on the actual website, the marketing aspect. But to address the cannibalism, we explored a venue of going through a Delaware lawyer so that there is not a direct connection between PES and OPP. If they were to follow the OPP line, they would get to the lawyer in Delaware, and that's who would own it. But in reality, it would own to the PES company.
And we do realize that there will be some customers who will come over to OPP from competing sites. That is, however, not the intention of PES whatsoever. It is simply to hedge risk, and there is an understanding that that could very well happen. But we just wanted to provide them with an idea of how they could start their website.
Katie?
Just to piggyback on that, so did you find an end result saying that 25% of the business on that slide, it was worth potentially losing that income to start this and compare profits that way?
We just took into consideration the trend in retail right now. You know, malls are closing, stores are going bankrupt, so we foresee the trend was just going to be like all online retail. So yeah, you can lose some at the upfront, but I think in the long run, most of your sales are going to come online in the next like 5 to 10 years, and you'll be able to make it.
And was the other 3/4, was that an in-store retail profit?
It's like, so PES distributes, they sell the dealers, and then the dealers sell the wholesale and the parts, so that's where that comes from.
So they're kind of projecting that trend to reach them at some point and have kind of a backup plan in case
Yeah, that was ours.
That's the backup plan with the three, because the 3 online retailers that they already do have. That's why within the financials, we decided to take that $4 million so that they can make that in the event that they do lose those.
Just a quick clarification. You started off saying this is a business-to-business position. Are you wanting to? Are they looking to go business to consumer at this point, and that's the whole purpose of this, or are we still looking at shifting business to business?
PES is the business-to-business company, and they're trying to create this separate entity, the sister company, OPP, to be a business-to-consumer. So they just, PES sells the parts to OPP, or OPP buys the parts from PES and they ship it, and they just get charged.
Bruce?
Let me check my facts. The online marketplace was $40 million?
Billion.
40 billion, okay. And their 3 current suppliers that are 25% of their market are about a million a year?
We're not gonna say that information.
All right. My guess is if you have a $40 billion market, the amount you're going to cannibalize your own client is minimal. So you're probably okay.
Well, that's the $40 billion is the power equipment in a whole, and we're just trying to capture the parts aspect of it, so a much smaller portion.
Even if it was 40 million, you still only have 2.5%, so you're going after 97.5, not 30.
Okay, thank you.